When I was growing up, there was a point where aliens were still considered something like a conspiracy theory. The topic was still taboo. Don't get me wrong, we may tune in to shows like the X-Files every week, but if we wanted to hear real discussions about aliens, there weren't really many people having those discussions. Unless maybe on stuff like Coast to Coast AM. Have any of you all ever heard of Coast to Coast AM? You would have to listen to the radio at like 2 o'clock in the morning to actually hear people talk about aliens. But nowadays, the topic has become mainstream. On the mainstream media, they're talking about aliens and UFOs every single day. And there's all types of new evidence and crazy information coming out. And now this week, and I want you all to understand, I don't want you all to shoot the messenger here, because that's what often happens to YouTubers. We try to highlight certain information that is out there, not information that we created, but people look to us as if we're the source of this information. I'm not the source of the information that I'm about to relay to you all. I'm simply here to highlight it. But according to people who are supposedly way smarter than all of us, according to a new Harvard study, how many of you all are smart enough to get into Harvard? Or maybe you meet some of the DEI requirements. But I think it's safe to assume that basically 99.9% of the people watching this video never went to Harvard. But a new Harvard study suggests that aliens are already living amongst us, and they may be living in a base on the moon. Now, for some, this may seem like this is far out there. But this is stuff that's being openly discussed in today's day and age. Now, is it all part of a psyop to get you to believe in aliens? Or are people just now comfortable speaking about this topic? It's crazy how not everyone, it's crazy how a lot of people believed in aliens before the government acknowledged that they were real. But once the government acknowledged that UFOs are real, now no one believes in UFOs. They all have, they have their different explanations as to what they think these creatures or these things are. But before I dive too deeply into all of that nonsense, let's go ahead and dive into this article and figure out what in the heck is happening here. Aliens might be living amongst us, disguised as humans, or in a base inside the moon, according to new Harvard study. Aliens might be living amongst us, according to a study by Harvard academics. A new paper suggests extraterrestrials could also be living underground or in a base inside the moon. The study by Harvard University's Human Flourishing Program further puts forward the idea that UFOs, or unidentified aerial phenomena, may be spaceships visiting their Earth-based alien friends. These aliens could be disguising themselves as humans to fit in. They may have come from Earth's future, or may have descended from intelligent dinosaurs. The study was created to offer an alternate, unconventional explanation for UAP sightings and to hypothesize what they might mean and the possibility that UAP may involve forms of non-human intelligence that are already present in Earth's environment in some sense, that exist alongside us in distinct stealth. The paper reads, the author became increasingly aware of the depth of evidence and that also tentatively supports another ultra-terrestrial explanation, the crypto-terrestrial hypothesis, or focus here, which holds that UAP may reflect activities of NHIs concealed here on Earth and its environs. 4 theories on aliens living near humans are investigated. The first are human crypto-terrestrials, a technologically advanced human civilization that was largely destroyed long ago but continued to exist in remnant form. The second are hominid or theropod cryptoterrestrials, a technologically advanced non-human civilization consisting of some terrestrial animal which evolved in life and stealth. The paper suggests that these could be an ape-like hominid descendant or descendants of unknown intelligent dinosaurs. The third cryptoterrestrials are former extraterrestrial or extraterrestrial cryptoterrestrials. These would have arrived on Earth from elsewhere in the cosmos or from the human future, respectively, and concealed themselves in stealth, such as in the moon. Theory 4, dubbed CTH4, are magical cryptoterrestrials, entities which are less like homegrown aliens and are more like earthbound angels. The paper says these relate to the world inhabited by humans in ways that are less technological than magical, giving the examples of fairies, elves, and nymphs. So, folks, you have to understand that for someone like me who has always been interested in the topics of aliens, it's crazy how we went from people not accepting the possibility that aliens exist somewhere out there, that now people are like, yeah, maybe fairies and pixies and all of this stuff is real. Now people are believing all of this other stuff, but it still seems as if there's a hesitancy to believe that life may exist on other planets. It's like, yeah, people are open to talking about aliens now, but the conversation immediately shifted from, oh, these are beings from another planet, to, oh, these are like magical angel fairies. These are cryptozoic creatures that descended from intelligent dinosaurs that are hidden in the earth. It's like we went from not believing that aliens exist to believing some of the more far out there theories as to behind what aliens actually are, when I feel like the more logical explanation is that there is just intelligent life out there on other planets that may have discovered our planet as well. Now, I'm not closed-minded. I am always open to all theories, especially when it's something like this. Do I believe in the existence of angels and demons? Yeah, I'm open to that. Do I think aliens are angels and demons? I'm not sold on that yet. I'm not sold on it, but I'm open to the possibility. I just think it's crazy that as soon as we open the discussion about aliens, it immediately pivots to a discussion about angels and demons and pixies and fairies and intelligent dinosaurs and crab people, living under the earth. What about the aliens from outer space? Did we forget about that? Like, why are we glossing over that? And part of me kind of wonders, like, is there like an effort here behind the scenes to steer the conversation, about aliens and UFOs from a conversation about creatures from a different planet to a conversation about stuff that's already here on Earth? I don't know. I'm just not sold on those theories yet, but I'm open to them. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. But let's go ahead and dive back into this article really quickly, because, who knows anymore? Who knows? The academics do conclude that their theories, especially the elves suggestion, might be hard to take by many people. They add the principal weakness of CTH4, by contrast, is its utter strangeness, particularly for readers schooled to limit themselves to modes of explanation within the bounds of, say, the standard model of physics. While belief in extraterrestrials is tenable, belief in something like fairies is simply not a live option for many scientists. The paper, The Cryptoterrestrial Hypothesis, a case for scientific openness to a concealed earthly explanation for unidentified anomalous phenomena, is not yet peer-reviewed. So these are some of the discussions that are happening in places like Harvard. And the discussions aren't ending there, and they aren't contained to there. The discussions are taking place within our Congress. Our politicians are gathering together for meetings all the time talking about UFOs. And even though we live in a day and age where a lot of information is coming out, there's still an active, attempt to silence a lot of the stuff that is coming out. So right now, I feel like we are in an even more confusing time than we originally were in before the government acknowledged that UFOs are real. You know what I mean? It's like back in the day, all we wanted, people who were interested in aliens and UFOs, all we wanted was for the government to acknowledge that they were real. And now that the government has acknowledged that they were real, it's like the conversation just immediately exploded into all of these other subgenres and all of these other subtopics. And while exploring all of the possibilities is a good thing, I can't help but feel like maybe we're losing focus about what this whole conversation was about to begin with. And maybe they like that. I think the powers that be realized, hey, we can't conceal this information for much longer, so we're going to put it out there and then we'll muddy the waters. And now you cannot sit down and have a conversation about aliens because the conversation turns into a conversation about religion. And then the conversation turns into, what about fairies? What about pixies? What about dinosaurs? And like I said, I'm open to all of that. But at the end of the day, it just really feels like they're just introducing so much stuff when it comes to this topic of UFOs. They're introducing so much stuff that's just taking people in all of these different directions. And when we're in a day and age of like disclosure and they're releasing this information, all of it basically means nothing because no one believes what they're saying anyway. And everyone has their own idea and their own hypothesis about what these things are. So even if we do get the truth or a half-truth, it's going to fall on deaf ears because now there's all of these other scenarios, there's these other agendas at play, there's these other narratives, and we're just kind of right back to square one. What are aliens, what are UFOs, and are they real? But with all of that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.